Hey, so I just wanted to talk about, I thought this was interesting. It's developed over the last, I think like 10 days. Since I made the video where I was talking about how I generally, when I want something, what I do mentally about it to get myself into the right place for it to just manifest. One of the things that, and I love this about the way this works. I really don't think this is personal to me. So I'm just going to say I love this about the way manifestation works. If you're not feeling right about something happening, that's generally why it's not happening. If something that you seem to think you want, and this is really what's kind of crazy about this whole thing, and why I can't believe people rail against getting to know themselves. Like, it's like saying, I don't know how to use this computer, and refusing to ever learn anything about it when you have to use it all day, every day. Like, this makes no sense to me. I think a lot of people think they want things that they don't actually want for reasons that make no sense, and they don't even take time to think about this. So what I love about this is that there's essentially a fail-safe in place. And that is that if you're not in alignment with the thing, like Esther Hicks says, if you're not in alignment with the thing, it won't show up. This is a good thing. This is a good thing. That's just an indicator that you have not figured it out yet. And a lot of people say you can't reason or rationalize away certain things, and that is true. However, you can reason and rationalize away dumb things that you're thinking about something, and that clearing out of how you feel about it will at least take you to the next step in figuring out what's going on with it. So recently I used my YouTube subscriber count as sort of an example, although it may not be a great example because it's not a big desire that's eluding me. It's definitely not a big desire. It might be eluding me. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe this channel would be bigger if I had different feelings about it. Maybe I would take different actions, the type of actions that make a YouTube channel grow really fast, if I felt differently about it. But in that video where I was talking about this example, the YouTube channel example, I'll link to that video. I was talking about how when I think about that desire, I just kind of let everything come up about it. You generally don't have to think about the, reasons, the positive reasons why you want the thing you want. You usually know what those are. It would be a sense of accomplishment. It would reach more people, blah, 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 right? I don't really have to sit around and think about that. The things that come up for me that I do think about and reason through are the feelings of, I don't want that. And I don't want that is just another way of saying resistance. When people talk about having resistance to your desire, they're just talking about those feelings in you that don't really feel sure about it, that maybe actively don't want it at all. And I think it's just crazy to not honor those. Like, they're your actual feelings about the thing, And it makes no sense to just try to skip over them or get rid of them. You should actually look at what they are and think about them a little bit and consider whether you have valid reasons for not wanting this thing. And if you do, then what's this big frenzy to get it? That's really, I think, what's key here. If you can learn what's driving you, then you can start to just alter things and make crazy strides in your life in a short period of time, which I know appeals to everybody. People always seem very concerned about how long something's going to take, or they imagine that if you do any kind of work, mental work on something, that's going to take forever or whatever. When you get rid of all of this resistance to something, it just happens. It just happens. And usually, and if it does take a little longer, you don't care, because it's not, it's not being driven by some, faulty fuel, like some, I'm going to get something from this, this means something that it doesn't, stuff like that. Did that make any sense? what has been interesting is since I made that video, right, I was reasoning through what's my resistance to the idea of having 100,000 subscribers. I was rattling them off. They're pretty obvious to me. More exposure. I don't necessarily want to be known for this. I have I own a business that is in a completely unrelated field. I'm not sure that, I kind of like that identity. I'm not sure that I want to be more well-known as anybody in the metaphysical arena. I don't know why that is exactly. I think I just don't really want to be well-known in general, or known at all. I like being private and under the radar. So that's an uncomfortable thing for me. That is definitely a source of resistance to the idea of the channel growing. So, I kind of reasoned that away. I was thinking about that and I was just like, well, is that really a big deal? Like, it's not like, that would have some terrible effect on me. There are certain things about it that I just had to say, well, yeah, maybe that would not be great, but it might be worth it. I just kind of reasoned my way through all this stuff. What were my other reservations? Oh, I was thinking I was going to have to, I wasn't thinking, I was just sort of feeling, because I hadn't thought about it, like, oh, a set of obligations comes with that I don't want. I'll have to talk to people. I'll have to go on people's channels. I'll have to do podcasts with other people. And this is really kind of a solo thing for me to talk about. I don't really want to discuss it with anybody else. I don't really want to do that. That just doesn't sound how I want to spend my time. I haven't even gotten on a podcast with my friend Tim Grimes. And he's like my friend, much less like some person I don't know who knows what they're going to ask me, who knows what they're going to say. That was another source of discomfort for me. And I just sort of thought about it and thought, well, I don't have to do that. I could get 10 million subscribers and I don't have to do that. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. So, I was kind of like knocking down these reservations that I had about this channel growing. If, say, that was going to be a manifestation that I would actually wave my magic wand about and just say, okay, I've thought this through. This is something I want. Make it happen. Boom. It's done. I haven't done that about it. And so I was, kind of trying to get to the point, well, do I want to do that? Is that a place that I want some of my focus to start going, more so than it already is, which is almost not at all. I've taken a 15-month break from this channel and then another 4-month break. It's, I probably, again, another thing that I'm thinking about this is, well, I'd have to make content more regularly. I'd have to make more content. Do I really want to do that? Kind of knocking all these things down. And after that, I was saying that I had sort of an idea. I was like, well, I should just write a book and give it away. I should write a book sort of organizing everything that's on this channel, putting it in written format. Okay, that would probably, I was like, oh, that's interesting that I just had that idea right after thinking about this. That's probably a way that I could grow my channel. I actually, after that, had a weirdly negative feeling come over me for a few days about that. And so I was just like, okay, I've knocked all this down. I've knocked all these objections down, right? I've tried to clear the way for this manifestation to potentially happen. I've tried to get on board with it happening. And then I just kind of had this feeling. And the feeling just kind of translated to, I don't like, basically the feeling translated to, I just don't like this approach. I just don't like, I don't want to introduce my will into this particular thing. That's what it ended up being. That's what the feeling ended up translating into. I don't want to look at this like it's growing my business. I just don't want to. Like, that to me, I don't want this to turn into something that is not genuine, free-flowing, and that happens when it happens. In fact, what I really want is for it to be more like that. What I really want is for this medium to be used to get something out there that everybody needs to hear. Essentially, I would like to set anything that I have, any desire I have about it aside, and allow myself to essentially be used as a pawn to move everybody else forward by, you know, I've made videos on this channel many times where I'm just like, I woke up with this thing, you know, articulating itself. Like this didn't even really come from me. And that's really what I want. I want to essentially be used to convey messages here, and introducing in an idea of sort of like a personal achievement in there, which is really at the heart of it. That's all having a large subscriber base is to me, because I don't want to do anything with this. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want, you know, the things that come from being having a bigger channel aren't things that I particularly want. In fact, they're things I kind of don't want. They're things I kind of have to get over in order to even keep making this. So to introduce a desire and to try to make something happen here, you know, via intention and all of that, is just simply something I don't want. And this is why I think it's really, really good to examine these things. Don't just let them sit there as just this nebulous, yucky feeling, or just an uncomfortable feeling, or whatever. Or worse, not looking at it at all and just being frustrated because you keep ignoring like all this stuff that's making the thing not happen, while just focusing on, I said this is going to happen, why isn't it happening? It makes no sense to do that. I don't know, like people and their desires just create so much pain for themselves. Like you know, you can look at most of these and it's like people just see desire as a feeling or something that you can't look at or pick apart or whatever. Like it's just a thing. It's not. It's like a package. It's like a box sitting on your porch full of stuff. That's what a desire is. Open it, start taking all the things that are in there out, and then it's no longer a box sitting on your porch. It's a bunch of different things, and the desire is essentially gone. The box has been opened and you can throw it away. The desire can be thrown away, and now you've got things you can actually work with and do something with, or not, in my case. So all of that to say, I will not be putting any sort of energy or effort into that idea. That's where I've landed on that. Yes, there's a genuine desire there to have a bigger channel. And that genuine desire to have a bigger channel is literally made up of one thing. I achieved building a channel to 100,000 subscribers. I'm just that type of person, you know, that gets off on achievements. You know, I ran a marathon. I didn't. But that type of thing's always appealed to me. Like I achieved this thing that's hard to do, that most people don't do. That is the only reason that I want to see a certain number on this channel. Because the true purpose of this is exactly the thing. When I say this, it's like a sense of relief washes over me, really. The true purpose of this is simply to speak to other people. And I have no clue who sees this, how they got there, what they're going through. And that's the part that I just, you know, that's the part where I'm being used to speak to other people. And that is what needs to happen here. So that's where I'm at with that. And that's what happened after I reasoned all that stuff away. I was left with just a feeling. And that feeling was allowed to come up and make itself known that no, this is not the right direction. You know, God, it would be so difficult for me if I didn't constantly have an awareness of feelings. I'm not sure how, you know, and by feelings, I don't mean I feel happy or sad. It's like, this feels wrong or right, you know, in my gut. This feels, I've reasoned it all away. There's no reason for me not to get this, but there's still something in there telling me we're not there yet. And then figuring out what that thing is. And then I return to a state of peace. And now I don't have to think about manifesting YouTube subscribers anymore. That's no longer a desire. Because I don't really need another achievement, frankly. I'm good. Anyway, hope that helps somebody. I have no fucking idea why I just talked about that for 15 minutes. Have a great day.